Welcome to Public Account, where real-life nightmares come alive. Prepare to be haunted by chilling tales of the unknown, drawn from actual events. Lights off, volume up, and remember, these horrors are closer than you think. Subscribe, if you dare.
The true story behind The Exorcist, the tale of Roland Doe. One of the most iconic horror stories of the 20th century, The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty, is not merely a product of pure imagination. Instead, it finds its roots in a chilling, real-life event that transpired in the late 1940s, serving as a testament to the ancient belief in demonic possession and exorcism. This story delves into the mysterious and unsettling case of a young boy pseudonymously known as Roland Doe, or Robbie Mannheim. The year was 1949, and post-war America was a time of prosperity, technological advances, and redefined family values. However, in the quiet neighborhoods of Maryland, a malevolent shadow was about to cast its pall. A family, their identity kept private for their protection, began witnessing inexplicable phenomena surrounding their young son, Roland. Whispers of the boy's unusual behaviors started making the rounds, becoming the stuff of local legend. According to accounts, Roland's troubles began after the death of a beloved aunt. She had introduced him to a Ouija board, which the grieving boy used in hopes of communicating with her spirit. It wasn't long before strange occurrences began. Household objects moved of their own accord, inexplicable noises resounded through the home, and Roland's bed would shake violently. The boy's personality also underwent a transformation. He exhibited violent outbursts, spoke in tongues, and displayed a strength that seemed unnatural for someone his age. Desperate for answers, Roland's family sought the help of local physicians, psychiatrists, and even their Lutheran minister. The consensus was confounding. While there was no medical explanation for Roland's symptoms, many believed that he was suffering from something beyond the realm of science. As the disturbances escalated, the family turned to the Catholic Church, hoping that religious intervention might provide relief. The case eventually caught the attention of Father Albert Hughes, a Catholic priest from Washington, D.C. After witnessing the boy's torments firsthand, he believed an exorcism was in order. However, the initial attempts to perform the rite were disastrous. Roland's violent reactions resulted in injuries, including a claim that he slashed the priest's arm with a bedspring. Realizing the severity of the possession, the case was transferred to St. Louis, Missouri, where a Jesuit priest, Father William Bowden, took over with the assistance of his colleague, Father Walter Halloran. Over several weeks, the priests, along with a few witnesses, observed manifestations that defied logic and reason. Words like evil and hell appearing in welts on Roland's skin, the boy speaking in deep, guttural voices and displaying a vehement aversion to sacred objects. The exorcism rituals were exhaustive, and over the course of multiple sessions, Roland's defiance and the manifestations of evil became more intense. But the priests remained resolute in their faith and commitment. After weeks of spiritual warfare, during a final intense session, witnesses reported a dramatic climax, a deafening scream from Roland, followed by an almost instantaneous return to his normal self. The entity, it seemed, had been expelled. Roland's life post-exorcism was kept private, but reports suggest that he went on to lead a normal, fulfilling life, with no memory of the traumatic events that had transpired. It was this chilling tale that inspired William Peter Blatty in 1971 to pen his novel, The Exorcist. Just 2 years later, in 1973, the story was adapted into a film, leaving audiences worldwide both horrified and enthralled. The movie, like the true events, remains a compelling exploration of the eternal battle between good and evil, faith and skepticism. In retrospect, the case of Roland Doe serves as a reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of our understanding. Whether one views it as a genuine case of demonic possession or a complex psychological disturbance, its impact on popular culture is undeniable, forever immortalized in Blatty's haunting narrative. The Possession, a real-life haunting in the 2000s. In the early 2000s, an eerie tale took the online world by storm when an ordinary wine cabinet with an extraordinary history was put up for sale on eBay. This tale would go on to inspire the 2012 film The Possession, but what really happened is even more unnerving. The wine cabinet in question was no ordinary box. It was believed to be a Dybbuk box, a container that is said to imprison a Dybbuk, a restless, malicious spirit from Jewish mythology. Once released, the Dybbuk can haunt, possess, and bring misfortune to those around it. The eBay listing, a call for help. The eBay listing of the Dybbuk box was not just a sales pitch, it read more like a desperate call for help or a warning to potential buyers. The seller relayed a series of disturbing events that had befallen him and his family since coming into possession of the box. The initial owner described a series of nightmares that plagued him every night when he slept with the box in his home. In these dreams, he was assaulted by a malicious entity, a hag-like creature that threatened and tormented him. Awakening from these nightmares would not bring relief. The terror seemed to linger, casting a shadow over his waking hours. But the box didn't only inflict psychological torment. The owner reported unexplained health problems, ranging from minor ailments to severe conditions that seemed to strike out of nowhere. His hair began to fall out, he suffered from hives, and his house often had the unmistakable stench of cat urine, despite not owning a cat. Subsequent owners, a pattern emerges. What made the Dybbuk box story even more unsettling was that the original eBay seller wasn't its only victim. Subsequent owners of the wine cabinet, perhaps drawn by curiosity or disbelief, soon found themselves regretting their decision to purchase it. One owner, a student, experienced lights burning out in his house and an infestation of insects. Another owner gifted it to his mother, who immediately suffered a stroke upon receiving it. Each person who came into contact with the box reported feeling a palpable sense of dread and unease. Whispers and hushed conversations soon linked the misfortunes of these owners to the cursed box. It seemed that the Dybbuk trapped within it was intent on causing harm to anyone who dared to claim ownership. Public fascination and skepticism. As the tale of the cursed Dybbuk box spread, it inevitably attracted a mix of both believers and skeptics. Some regarded the story as a clever marketing ploy or an imaginative hoax. Others believed that the box was genuinely haunted, pointing to the consistent accounts of misfortune and health problems from its various owners as proof. The public's fascination with the Dybbuk box grew, and it wasn't long before it caught the attention of Hollywood. The story was adapted into the 2012 film The Possession, dramatizing the events for the silver screen. While the film took creative liberties, it remained rooted in the harrowing real-life experiences of those who had encountered the box. The Dybbuk box. Today, the real Dybbuk box's last known resting place is with Jason Haxton, a museum director who claims to have sealed it and subsequently buried it in a secret location to prevent its malevolent influence from affecting others. Haxton reported feeling its effects himself, and after seeking advice from rabbis, decided that the best course of action was to hide it away. Whether one believes in the supernatural elements of the Dybbuk box story or dismisses them as mere coincidence and human psychology, it's undeniable that the tale has left an indelible mark on popular culture. The eBay listing, the numerous accounts of misfortune, and the Hollywood adaptation are all testaments to the box's unsettling legacy. In the end, whether the box is truly possessed by a malevolent spirit or not, the story of the Dybbuk box from the early 2000s serves as a cautionary tale about the power of belief, the mysteries of the unknown, and the lengths to which we will go to protect ourselves from that which we fear. The Haunting in Connecticut, the true story of the Snedeker family. The 1980s were marked by a surge in interest in the supernatural, a phenomenon that saw stories of hauntings, possession, and other paranormal occurrences seep into popular culture. One such story that sent ripples across America was that of the Snedeker family and their harrowing experiences in a rented home in Southington, Connecticut. Their tale became the basis for the 2009 film The Haunting in Connecticut, which captured the imagination and fears of viewers around the world. However, as chilling as the movie was, the real-life account of the Snedekers is even more compelling and, to many, disturbing. In the 1980s, the Snedeker family, in search of a new home, found a rental property that seemed ideal for their needs. The old house in Southington was spacious, fitting for a family. But soon after moving in, they discovered its dark history. The house had once served as a funeral parlor, a fact the family was not initially aware of. The Snedekers soon found mortuary tools and old photographs hidden in the basement, depicting deceased individuals in poses which was a common practice in earlier times. While such a discovery would be unsettling for anyone, what followed was even more nightmarish. The family began experiencing a series of unexplainable events. Doors slammed shut without warning, inexplicable cold spots appeared throughout the house, and the sound of disembodied voices whispered from the walls. As days turned into weeks, the phenomena grew increasingly malevolent. The children reported seeing apparitions, shadowy figures that would disappear as suddenly as they appeared. Objects would move on their own, and the family felt a constant oppressive presence watching them. Research into the home's history revealed even more unsettling details. Beyond its function as a funeral parlor, there were rumors and local legends suggesting that the previous occupants had been involved in seances and necromancy. Such rituals, many believe, can open doorways for malevolent spirits or entities to enter our world. The Snedekers believed that such activities had tainted the home, turning it into a hotspot for supernatural occurrences. The situation escalated further when members of the family began exhibiting signs of possession. Their behavior became erratic, and they reported feeling influenced by external forces. It became evident that they were not merely dealing with restless spirits, but with something much more malevolent. Desperate for help, the Snedekers sought out the assistance of paranormal experts and even clergy. The family, along with investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed for their involvement in other high-profile supernatural cases, attempted to understand and confront the forces at play. While the film adaptation leans heavily into exorcism as a resolution, the real-life story is more nuanced. There were various cleansing rituals and interventions performed, and over time the malevolent activity seemed to lessen. As word of the Snedekers' experiences spread, skeptics and believers alike flocked to their story. Some argued that the family exaggerated or even fabricated their claims for attention or financial gain. Others believed wholeheartedly, with the Warrens backing the legitimacy of the family's accounts. In the end, the Snedeker family chose to leave the home, seeking peace and a fresh start elsewhere. The house in Southington still stands, its history a mix of fact, legend, and speculation. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, the story of the Snedeker family serves as a cautionary tale about the past's power to influence the present and the thin line between our world and the unknown. Today, The Haunting in Connecticut remains a testament to the enduring allure of such tales. The film captures the essence of the Snedekers' story, although with Hollywood embellishments. Still, the core truth remains: a family, an old house with a dark history, and experiences that defy explanation. Whether viewed as a series of unfortunate coincidences or as genuine supernatural occurrences, The Haunting in Connecticut will forever be etched in the annals of American paranormal history. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Truth Behind the Tale. The story of the Exorcism of Emily Rose, as presented in the 2005 film, has its roots deeply embedded in real-life events that transpired in Germany between 1975 and 1976. The film brought a dramatized, Americanized version of these events to the forefront of the global consciousness. However, the truth is even more haunting and raises profound questions about faith, medicine, and the nature of evil. Anneliese Michel, the real Emily Rose. In the picturesque town of Klingenberg in Bavaria, Germany, a tragic and chilling saga unfolded that would grip the nation and later captivate the world. Anneliese Michel, born in 1952, was a devout Catholic who, in her youth, showed no signs of abnormal behavior. But by her late teens, Anneliese began experiencing distressing visions and hearing sinister voices. These episodes, initially perceived as severe medical conditions, were diagnosed as epileptic seizures. Medical treatments proved ineffective, and over time, Anneliese's symptoms intensified. She displayed aversion to religious artifacts, exhibited aggressive behavior, and bore witness to demonic faces. Her devoutly Catholic family, distraught by her suffering, began to believe that she was possessed by demons. With modern medicine failing them, the Michels turned to the church. After some hesitancy and scrutiny, the church authorized a series of exorcisms on Anneliese. Between 1975 and 1976, Anneliese underwent 67 rites of exorcism. Two priests, Father Arnold Renz and Father Ernst Alt, carried out these rites in secrecy, forbidden to attract public or media attention. Audio recordings from these sessions reveal the harrowing intensity of Anneliese's episodes: guttural voices, violent outbursts, and chilling proclamations. The priests claimed that several demons, including Lucifer, Nero, Cain, and Judas, were present within her. The tragic end. In 1976, after enduring a year of exorcisms and rapidly declining health, Annalisa Michel passed away in her home. She was just 23. The official cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration, weighing a mere 30 kilograms, about 68 pounds, at the time of her passing. She had refrained from eating, stating that the demons would not allow it. The story did not end with her death. German authorities and the public were outraged. Annalisa's parents, along with fathers Renz and Alt, were charged with negligent homicide. The subsequent trial captured national attention, as it was one of the first times the legal system had to evaluate the intersection of religious rights and potential harm. The film, a cross-cultural adaptation. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, released in 2005, took considerable liberties with Annalisa's story. Transplanting the narrative from rural Germany to the US, the film melded horror with courtroom drama. It scrutinized the ethical, religious, and legal ramifications of exorcism, positing the overarching question: was Emily Rose, the film's stand-in for Annalisa, a victim of demonic possession or medical misdiagnosis? The film's Americanized account, while straying from the exact events, tapped into universal fears and ethical dilemmas. This creative choice made the story more accessible to global audiences, particularly Americans, while retaining the central tragic elements of Annalisa's ordeal. Reflection. The story of Annalisa Michel serves as a cautionary tale about the clash between faith and reason, old beliefs and modern understanding. Whether one views Annalisa as a victim of possession, mental illness, or tragic circumstances, her suffering was undeniable. Her legacy, exemplified by the Exorcism of Emily Rose, reminds us of the need for understanding, compassion, and critical thinking in the face of the unexplainable. Today, the grave of Annalisa Michel in Klingenberg am Main remains a place of pilgrimage for many, a testament to the enduring and haunting impact of her story. A haunting in Georgia, the disturbing tale of the Wyrick family. The sleepy town of Ellerslie, Georgia, nestled deep in the heart of America's South, was shaken in the late 1980s by chilling accounts of the supernatural, the center of which was the Wyrick family. Their unsettling experiences began innocently enough, but would soon escalate, thrusting them into a nightmarish ordeal that played out in the media and ultimately led to an exorcism on their property. In 1988, the Wyricks seemed to have achieved the American dream. They had moved into a new home in Ellerslie, seeking the peace and stability of a rural life for their family. Little did they know that their home held secrets that would disrupt their lives in ways they could never have imagined. Heidi, the Wyricks' young daughter, was the first to notice something amiss. A perceptive child with a vivid imagination, Heidi began recounting interactions with figures who, to others, were not there. At first, these friends seemed harmless, apparitions of a kindly old man and a bloodied, bandaged figure. Concerning as these tales might be to any parent, they could initially be brushed off as a child's rich imagination. Yet, as time passed, the stories took a dark turn. The Wyrick family's distress was amplified by the increasing malevolence of these spectral encounters. Whispers in the night, unexplained cold spots, and even physical interactions began to occur. Doors slammed without cause, and ghostly figures were sometimes glimpsed out of the corner of an eye. Most troubling of all were Heidi's tales of being physically touched and even harmed by these unseen entities. For the Wyricks, what started as an eerie curiosity transformed into a pressing concern for their daughter's well-being. It was in this charged atmosphere that the family began to seek answers. Their search led them to uncover the history of their property and its previous inhabitants. What they found was disconcerting. The land was marred by tragedy, with deaths and untimely ends that might explain the restless spirits Heidi described. As is often the case with tales of the supernatural, the Wyrick story attracted both skeptics and believers. The community was divided, with some viewing the family's claims with suspicion, attributing them to attention-seeking or overactive imaginations. Others, however, felt a deep resonance with the Wyricks' experiences, some even sharing their own tales of ghostly encounters in Ellerslie. Yet, regardless of public opinion, the Wyrick family's distress was palpable. Faced with a situation that was spiraling out of control and fearing for their daughter's safety, they made the fateful decision to seek help from the spiritual realm. Thus, the idea of performing an exorcism on the property emerged. The exorcism was an intense affair, steeped in ritual and accompanied by prayers to rid the land of its troubled past and the spirits that haunted it. As with most exorcisms, the efficacy of this one was a matter of personal belief. For some, it was a powerful act of faith, offering a chance at cleansing and healing. For others, it was an act of desperation, a last-ditch attempt to find peace in the face of the unexplained. The Wyrick family's experiences, with their mixture of the mundane and the mysterious, caught the attention of the wider public when they were featured on the Discovery Channel series, A Haunting. The episode brought national attention to the Wyrick story, inviting viewers to step into their shoes and grapple with the age-old question of what lies beyond our understanding. Today, the tale of the Wyrick family and their haunting in Georgia remains an enduring piece of modern American folklore. Their story, straddling the line between reality and the supernatural, serves as a powerful reminder of the mysteries that can lurk in the shadows of everyday life. Whether one views the events in Ellerslie as a genuine encounter with the otherworldly or as a psychological phenomenon, the Wyrick family's ordeal stands as a testament to the enduring human quest to understand the unknown.